I want to show you how to make a lace cane. Lace canes are super simple. They look more complicated than they really are. And we're going to use Sculpey 3 in black and in candy pink. So for the Sculpey 3, I have about half a block of Sculpey 3 here that I've rolled into a big fat log. And I have my candy pink rolled out on the third setting of my pasta machine. I've got a piece trimmed that will just fit my log. And so I'm going to roll my black log up in there, making sure the pink is really attached, and then roll that up. I'm pressing on the forward side to leave a little impression there that helps me know where to trim my candy pink, and I'm going to trim just inside the line so I can stretch that right into place, right along that seam. I'll pinch that together with my fingers and then smooth it a bit. And what you have now is just basically a bullseye cane with one wrap. So I want to reduce this, and when you're reducing a cane, you always want to start by pinching in the middle, pinching out any air bubbles. Once the clay really starts moving, you can roll this on your work surface to get a nice round shape to your cane. And if you just keep rolling and stretching, it will move quite quickly down to a nice log. Okay, so for a lace cane, I want to have a whole bunch of little pieces of cane, about 2 inches long. So I'm going to stretch, you want to stretch this to about 20 inches, and then we'll cut it up. My lace cane that I'm making has 19 different little canes inside. So what you need to do is stretch this first one to about 20 inches and then cut that into 10 2-inch sections. So I've got my ruler here on the table. I'm rolling, rocking and rolling to cut this because the clay is pretty warm and I don't want to smash it. So at every 2-inch mark, I'm cutting my cane. Now, in order to get enough of these little sticks, you'll need to do that twice. You need to make this, this bullseye cane twice. So 2 halves of a block of Sculpey 3 in black, and then wrap each one in the pink on the number 3 setting so that you'll get enough to have about 19 of these. Alright, so we're picturing this piece would be the middle. We're just going to surround that with 6 of these little sticks, making sure that they are all touching down their lengths, like so. Okay, and then you want to start with another round. I go in between each of those original 6, kind of like petals of a flower. I go between each of those first, and then I go back and fill in between with my other sticks. I'm going to make sure they nest down beside each other well. And that is how you build a lace cane. You can do this with 2 colors or several colors. It's a great way to make a mosaic looking piece or even a stained glass looking piece if you put bright colors in the middle with black edges. So just lots of ways you can make a really great lace cane. Now quickly, just to reduce it, you start squeezing that in the middle like we did before, making sure all those pieces are touching together without air bubbles. Once it's really moving, you want to roll that on your work surface. And you can reduce this as far as you would like. Go ahead and cut this open so you can see the beautiful pattern inside. And there's your lace cane. Okay, I want to show you how to take the lace cane and turn it into some trendy and fun earrings. These are just post-back earrings with a neat and pretty popular shape right now. So what you want to do is have if you have a lace cane that you've already made, you want to reduce this further. We need to reduce it until it's about 5/8 in diameter. So I always work sort of from the middle of the cane out toward the ends you're always going to have some waste on the ends of your canes, and it's something you can practice having less of, but I'm not sure anybody can ever make a cane that doesn't have kind of crazy ends on it. Okay, so we've reduced that down to probably about 5/8, somewhere between 1/2 inch and 5/8. I'm just going to cut through that as I'm rolling it to cut it open and look at it, and that is just beautiful. For these designs, I used lace canes, but I also squashed my lace cane to fill in some of these areas. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. Take half your lace cane and just go ahead and pinch it like this with your thumb and forefinger. Start getting it really flat. Okay, now I'm going to roll over the top of that to flatten it more. And I'll trim the end so we can see what we've got. And we have this beautiful and intricate lacy pattern that's flatter. So that'll help fill in some of these odd spots on the earring. So I have some black Sculpey rolled to a number 3. And I just used a simple cutter to cut a circular shape. And now I want to cut some cane slices to fill it up. So from my round cane, I'm going to cut 3 slices. And I'm going to start by putting one right down at the bottom as it's facing me. And this cane is quite warm, and you can see it gets a little smashed on one side, and I just pull that back out till it's round. Don't let that bother you. Just going to reform these and then kind of set them here where I'm going to want them to go. And now I want to take a couple slices from my flattened lace cane. Try to make all your cane slices about the same thickness. It'll just come together so much nicer on your finished piece if they're all about the same thickness. I'm going to wrap this piece around that circular piece at the bottom. And so that the way it's facing me, it just comes to the top of the middle of that circle cane. This one will probably be easier to start at the top and wrap it around the bottom. And I'm pushing these into place. Next, I want to set these little circles right up above those flattened pieces. And it's okay if a little bit of the cane hangs off the edge. Now I need another slice of my circle cane to fill in these little triangle shaped gaps. The way I'm going to do that is cut this circle piece into 4ths. So I have some little pizza shapes, and those more or less will just fit right in that blank space. Right there, just nestle those in. This is looking a little bit messy for now, but I'll show you how to clean it up. Don't worry. Okay, one more piece of this flat, and I'm going to snug this up across the top like so. If you want, you can take those extra little triangles and just stick them in there. Now I know it looks like I have pieces hanging off everywhere, but my main concerns are that this is all about the same thickness. I'm feeling that with my fingers. And to make really sure, I'm just going to go ahead and roll over this with my roller in both directions. That's making sure that the whole surface of this piece is nice and flat. Okay, now I'm going to line this back up with the circle cutter I used originally and cut through it again and cut all that excess clay away and then remove that. So that's starting to look neater. And then I have just a small circle cutter that I'm going to line up here, and I'm going to cut the middle out of the earring design. Now this piece right here I'm going to use to help make a little button for the top of the earring. I'm going to trim it a little bit because that's a little bit too much clay. But what I want to do with this one is roll it in my hands, make a little ball, and then I'm going to use my work surface to create a dome shape. So it's a little bit thicker in the middle, thinner on the edges. I'm going to cut one more of my circle lace cane slices. And I want to put this over the top of that little dome and then force it down around the edges so that it looks like a little domed button with my lace cane design right on the top. Now I'll gently lift that, and I want to position this right up here on the top of my earring. Make sure it comes into good bonding with the piece below. Alright, that's how you would use your lace cane to make an earring. I'll turn this around so you can see it. And there is your basic earring shape. You want to go ahead and bake that. 275 in your home oven. Bake those, and then use some silicone glue to put earring backs on the back. And you've got a pair of fun and trendy earrings.